Hello, everyone. I am so excited today for this special episode of Plug Into Devin. We've got Dave Bierschied with us from Moab. He is a real estate broker down in Moab. If you need a good place to stay, live, buy, whatever in Moab, he's your guy. Um, and he's also a member of Rotary, very active in the Rotary Club down there, and is a past president of the club twice. He's served on the city council, and he's very active in his daughter's education, and was actually recognized as a friend of the school, which was a big deal because of his commitment to education there in Moab. So you don't want to miss this episode. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Devin. Great to be here.
It's a thrill to have you. Having spent time in Moab this weekend, I'm excited to connect with you now in this forum. So Dave, what do you want to talk about?
I want to know how you're going to get across the divide of the divisiveness in Washington, D.C. and represent us in southeastern and central Utah and get our points across in a way that's listened to.
Yeah, well, that's a great question, and Dave, I really appreciate you putting me on the spot a little bit here because it's really an important issue, and there are so many different constituencies in Utah's 3rd district. It is remarkably diverse. We often think about Utah, especially on the Wasatch Front here, where many of us live, as being this very homogeneous, frankly, Mormon population, all descended from Mormon pioneers. And yet that is not the lived experience of so many people in Utah. We have a rapidly growing Hispanic population around the state. The coal miners don't recognize many of these stories that we tell ourselves as Wasatch Front communities. The coal miners in Carbon County, it doesn't resonate much with them. They have a very different history and experience, and very ethnically diverse there. People from all around the world have come to mine in the coal mines in Carbon County, and of course Emery County, huge county with a tiny population and coal-fired power plants there. And then, Grand County, of course, where you live, very tourism-based economy, very mindful about protecting natural resources, and at the same time allowing for a diverse range of uses for the land, wanting to develop it in healthy, proper ways. In San Juan County, where you've got Navajo outnumbering the white population, which is an interesting phenomenon. It's the only white minority county in the state. And it is really an interesting place. So yes, Dave, you have hit kind of the nail on the head with your question, and I apologize for monopolizing the discussion here, but I will work to represent all of those communities of interest and seek to be really good at listening. What do you see there in Moab as being the key issues that I should be mindful of?
Well, I do believe it is representation. Sometimes we feel in the outlying areas we don't get the same sort of airtime as somebody in the Wasatch Front or Utah Valley, and we have different concerns, but just as necessary concerns to be addressed. And so we really need to try to get that across to not just your constituency here in Utah, but those people in Congress, that we're just not some voice out in the night.
Yeah. What are some of the issues that you wish Washington were paying better attention to as someone from Grand County?
Well, I think just depending on the administration, but we not only have tourism, but we have a lot of natural resources. and we should be able to utilize them in a profitable manner, but not to listen to one constituency or the other, to sit down and get a consensus and then go about it for those of us in southeastern Utah and not for those in Washington, D.C. that either see profit or see some sort of political value to it.
Yeah, that's such a great point. So, Dave, you have lived in Moab for a long time. You remember when it was primarily a uranium mining town. Now it is primarily a tourist destination. How has that transition impacted the community?
Well, just a little background. My father was the general manager and superintendent for the largest mining company in Grant County, San Juan County. And I was chairman or president of the Chamber of Commerce when uranium died. And I had an interview from a Salt Lake newspaper. And they asked me what was I going to do about it. And I said simply this: we're going to mine a renewable resource. It's called tourism. We no longer can rely on those things that have their ups and downs and their boom and bust. And so what happened, and just a good example of the way Moab is now, you can't field a softball team. Back when we were in the throes of community and all the mining and things that were going on, we had to have 2 men's leagues because we had too many teams. So there's a whole different dynamic in the population now. I don't say that's a bad thing. I mean, I've been here 67 years and seen it all, and I feel a part of each era, but it has considerably changed the way we do things as a community.
That's interesting. Well, Dave, you've been a real community leader. What is your superpower?
My ability to communicate is one, but to let people know the need. And if somebody needs money raised or a cause promoted, just ask me. And if I believe in it, I'll get it done. And that's really where it's at. And I shall be on the other side of this camera in the next election cycle, guaranteed.
Good. Well, Dave, thank you very, very much for taking the time to be with us. Before you go, will you take a minute and tell people how they can connect with you?
Yeah, the best way would be it's very simple, dave@moabrealty.com. Emails, it's what I do, and I remember that way, and I can follow up. So.
All righty. Dave, thank you very much for being with us today. We wish you every success in your great career and your efforts to make Moab a great community.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Devin. It's been great.
All righty. Let's be bold together.
Yes.
I'm Devin Thorpe. For the last 8 years, I've been working full-time to eradicate extreme poverty, improve global health, and fight climate change. I've concluded that the best way for me to continue my work is to run for Congress to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District. In Utah, we have common shared values. Those things unite us. I believe passionately in our ability to come together, and I believe that working together, we can solve Utah's problems. I'm Devin Thorpe. I'm a Democrat. I'm running to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District. I'm Devin Thorpe, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.